A report surfaced Wednesday night on Fan Run Radio of Fox Sports Knoxville that the University of Tennessee is mulling an apparel deal with Adidas. Cody McClure of Fox Sports Radio, Fan Run Radio for Tennessee Athletics, said sources have indicated to them that the likelihood of Tennessee moving from Nike to Adidas is high. Now, for those who don't remember, Tennessee was with Adidas through 2014. From 1997 to 2014, Tennessee was with Adidas. They switched to Nike starting in 2015. Nike still has a first right of refusal in this negotiation. Tennessee is required by contract to present any offer to Nike in which Nike will have 15 business days to decide whether or not it wants to match. Sounds like Adidas has offered them a sweet, sweet gig. Now, this deal with Nike, it runs through June 30th, 2026. Reportedly, Adidas is in the range of offering the Vols a $5 to $5.5 million per year deal of endorsements. Now, a few deals that have recently been inked with Adidas are much bigger than that. Texas A&M has a 5-year, $47 million deal. That's over $9 million a year. Louisville, 10-year, $160 million deal, $16 million. Nebraska, 11 years, $128 million, 11 to 12 million per year. Washington, 10 years, $119 million. Miami, 12 years, $93.6 million. Nike paying Ohio State $16.8 million per year. Tennessee, the deal with right now with Nike and Tennessee is reportedly 5 to 5.5. That's not the offer Adidas made, but it sounds like Adidas is coming in with a giant offer that will outweigh what Nike is paying Tennessee. Many people are upset about this. A lot of people didn't like a lot of the Nike jerseys or the Adidas jerseys back in the day. It was particularly bad for the baseball jerseys. However, I'm going to be the one to push back. Because one, I don't really care about these apparel deals. I don't believe in loyalty to businesses like this. I believe in loyalty to who pays you the most money. And if Adidas is about to offer Tennessee a much better deal, take the deal. You need the money. And I kind of break with people who criticize the Adidas looks. I think the Tennessee Stormtrooper white jerseys during the Adidas era in football were some of the best jerseys. They were so simple, but so good at the same time. I loved them. I never had a problem with them. So I honestly think that there's a legitimate argument Tennessee should stick with it. The Smoky Grays were first debuted in Adidas, for those who forget. They came out in 2013 in Adidas. Didn't look as good as the Smoky Grays that Nike did. And Nike does make better designs. But, you could probably have a design team at Tennessee work with Adidas on this. So it's not just about the look. It's about, at this point, it really is just about who's throwing the money at you, given the NIL age. But we're going to play a little hotter. We're going to play a little hot or cold, brought to you by City Heating and Air Conditioning. City Heat and Air, 50 years in East Tennessee, integrity matters. cityheatandair.com. What do you prefer Tennessee does? Hot or cold? City Heating and Air Conditioning. We'll start with this one. Sticking with Nike. Just blindly sticking with Nike, no matter what. I am cold on that. And here's why. I think Tennessee has not kept up in the NIL age during the Nike years, and they are reportedly getting ripped off on their brand. It was a good deal in 2015 when Dave Hart launched it. Tennessee had to rush it. For those who don't know, one of the reasons Dave Hart launched that brand, and Tennessee did rush into the Nike negotiations, and I want to tell you why. Because of the buyouts that were being made and Tennessee overspending in the athletic department, when Dave Hart was hired, his job was really just to fix the budget at Tennessee. That's why he merged the women's and men's athletic departments and laid off about 20 administrators. Tennessee had to do that. They were so overstretched in their funds. On top of that, they were committing a certain amount of money to academics to basically bring the academic program up to snuff. For this goes way back, but in the early 2000s, Tennessee had really fallen behind as an academic school in the SEC. And then the lottery scholarship was introduced. I'm just going to bring out some of this, how this all played out. If you go back to 2000, 2001, 2002, Tennessee was the number one party school in the nation, and the academic value of the college had tanked. The lottery scholarship starts in 2003. The academic program starts to rise. Tennessee's really trying to shore up the academic program at the time. That's how you got the Haslam Business School and things like that. Part of that was they needed more money poured into the academic program from the athletic program. So the athletic program during the Mike Hamilton days poured a disproportionate amount of money into the academic program to try to bring it up to snuff. It's worked. They're a great academic school now relative to other schools. But then 2011 came, Tennessee, basically, I'm giving you guys the full story now. Tennessee had the Lane Kiffin leaving and all those horrible contracts that they gave that they had to pay out. They were stuck paying other buyouts to other universities. And by 2012, Derek Dooley was fired and they had to pay the buyouts to his staff. They became buyout university. They were stretched thin with buyout money. They had very little money left in the reserves because they'd spent so much on academics at that time. They weren't generating revenue the same way because the football program was bad. As a matter of fact, I don't know if you guys know this, in 2012, that was the first year ever that Titans season tickets outsold Vols season tickets for football. And there were just so many problems with money. And they had, while every other athletic department was merging, they had 20 administrators that they didn't need because they had two separate athletic departments. So they merged the athletic department, fired the 20 administrators, pulled some of the money back that they were pouring into the academics. This was what Dave Hart was pretty much hired to do. He was hired to be the bad guy and fire a bunch of people to make sure Tennessee could get its revenue back to where it needed to be. And he made a misstep by merging the Vols and Lady Vols brand name. But that was part of it, by the way. Merging the Vols and Lady Vols brand name was part of it or getting rid of it because that was costing money on apparel. And there was a big backlash. To fix a lot of that, they backed off of getting rid of the Lady Vols brand name, obviously when John Curry came. But to fix all of that, they had to rush into a deal with Nike that was better than Adidas, and it wasn't the greatest deal. So they rushed into a deal. So they're sticking with Nike is not the best thing because they're not in a great deal with Nike, guys. I'm just going to tell you that. So I'm cold on them just sticking with Nike. Now, next option, hot or cold, moving over to Adidas. I'm cold on that as well. Now, I think people are overrating the Adidas thing. I think there should be nostalgia for the Adidas era. Tennessee was at its peak in the Adidas era, but I will say that whenever there was a lot of hostility towards alternate uniforms in the Adidas era, when they did do the alternate uniforms, they just didn't look good. Adidas's design team is just not as good as Nike's design team. I will give you that. Now, I told you I love the Stormtrooper Nike jerseys. I love the Stormtrooper Nike jerseys, or the Stormtrooper Adidas jerseys, excuse me. The all white with the orange numbers. And I mean, they accidentally made an awesome jersey. And the reason I say accidentally is because the design was so simple. There was no thought put into it, but somehow it just worked with the orange popping on the all white. So, but outside of that, I didn't think there was anything special to any of the jerseys that they had. And the smoky grays that they debuted in 2014 didn't look good the first few years that Adidas did them. They looked awful. We're talking about the black uniforms. Yeah, those were thrown out just immediately, trying to shock everybody on Halloween in 2009 against South Carolina. And then don't forget, here was the worst part. When the Adidas uniforms, when Tennessee wore all orange in the Adidas age, it looked awful. Who remembers the all orange that they wore? I guess it was like 99 when they played Memphis and 2007 when they played LSU were the two times they wore it. And the all orange Adidas just looked, I mean, it did almost look like vomit at times. It looked bad. But there's another option. Go with a different brand. I mean, there's other brands. What about now? People are bringing up Under Armour. Here's the problem with Under Armour. I'm just going to tell you guys, Under Armour has a horrible design team too. I'm a Maryland grad. You guys know about the recent issues with Maryland firing Kevin Willard, the basketball coach, and how all that happened. What's really happening there is Maryland is not getting the revenue they thought they would have to be able to prop up the basketball program because they're trying to bring up the football program. Why? They went all in on Under Armour designs with Under Armour uniforms in 2011, and they thought the ugly uniforms would generate buzz. It didn't generate buzz. The uniforms were hideous. Under Armour while it was a growing brand, went all in on endorsements trying to be Nike and make Maryland the Oregon of the East. But they spent no money on a solid design team. And the designs for Under Armour are awful. And it just wasn't something that was trendy for the kids. Who remembers the Curry 2s? Who remembers the Curry 2s? Okay. They were Steph Curry shoes. It was the height of Steph Curry's popularity. He was about to win his second straight MVP while Golden State was the defending NBA champions and was on pace for 73 wins. He was having what might have been the greatest season in NBA history. Unveils the Curry 2s. And they look like something you put on your grandma in a nursing home. They looked horrible. Okay. It was so basic. So that's still, Under Armour still has issues with that. And their design is awful. And so Under Armour is not really a good one either. So, but I am hot on the idea of going with a different brand. I'm actually hot on that. There are other brands out there you can find others. Hey, find Puma. Do something. Hey, strike a deal with Puma. Get them into the college football market. Why not? I mean, it'd be pretty epic if you did that. So yeah, I'm fine with that. How about this? Here's another one, hot or cold. Start their own brand. What if Tennessee started its own brand and hired a design team and they competed and then they sponsored other schools and pro teams? Wouldn't that be epic? Could they do it? I don't know, but I'll tell you the best thing they should do. First, hot or cold, brought to you by City Heating and Air, 50 years in East Tennessee. Integrity matters. cityheatandair.com.
Hi, Mike Davis here with City Heating and Air, reminding you to always dare to compare. Our team provides quality local heating and air service, installation, and maintenance across East Tennessee. We use only the best equipment like American Standard heating and air conditioning for your residential, new construction, or commercial needs. Honesty, dependability, and customer satisfaction have been the cornerstones of our business since 1961. City Heat and Air.
The poll question up now. Tennessee should stick with Nike, move back to Adidas, pick another brand, or, and the final one, just go for whoever offers the most money. And that's really what they should do. And that's what I'm hot on. Tennessee should go with whoever offers the most money. That's the most important thing here. Tennessee needs the money. The NIL era is why Tennessee needs the money. So just go with whoever offers the most money, guys. I don't think it's that hard to do. Dylan goes, screw it, Crocs. Oh my gosh, if Tennessee got an endorsement from Crocs, that would be hilarious. Adam says, how about we go with an American-made brand? What better fit for the volunteers than to fight for Made in the USA? Adam, I like your spirit on that. I do. Most of these are American companies. Well, Adidas isn't, but Nike and Under Armour are. The problem is, like, I don't know any company that, even if it's an American company, if everything in it is American made, that's kind of one of the issues. There's always such a difference. I mean, you know, say Nike's an American company and Adidas is a foreign company, but does Adidas make more products in America than Nike? Because even foreign companies invest products and start plants here in America. So I don't know if, I don't know if you'd be able to avoid that, but starting Crocs would be, going in with Crocs would be, Dylan, you went for the funniest chat of the day. Screw it, Crocs. Oh my gosh, if Tennessee had this Crocs brand. But the truth be told, they need to just go with who offers them the most money. That's the most important thing, is the money is what matters in this, guys. I'm sorry, it does. That's just how things are in today's world.